trends in the workplace, a bit of focus around collaboration and what are the barriers and solutions to deliver collaborations in the workplace. There's a quite strong linkage between collaboration and the second agenda point, which is mobile, social, and cloud. So we'll give you some trends in those areas. And then talking about how Google Enterprise helps deliver solutions against those trends for enterprise companies, and how Cloud Sherpas helps Google in delivering those solutions. So the first slide I have is regarding a survey that was conducted by IBM last year with their CEOs of external companies. And what they found was that 75% of CEOs thought that collaborative trait being the most valuable in their employees. Now, interestingly enough, a couple of years before that, it was more around their employees being creative. So what we are seeing more and more, and although companies are still continuing to cost cut, we are seeing more organizations wanting to be a lot more focused on being innovative and being market leaders in their sector, or being able to compete locally and globally more effective. I know we have people on the call today from Africa and from Middle East, but we're quite lucky, I guess, in Europe and especially in the UK, in that we have very innovative organizations. We have some great companies like Arm Holdings, who are the most innovative company in Europe, according to Forbes, as well as other companies like Dyson. And what these companies, whether they're very large or very small, say is quite key in them being successful in taking new products to market and breaking into new countries, is being collaborative. And when they talk about being collaborative, it's not always around employees, but also collaborative with suppliers, with business partners, and even in some cases, government authorities. So it'd be quite interesting to understand what collaboration means to you. I actually looked up collaboration in the dictionary, and it first appeared in 1871, and I really like the meaning of the word collaboration then. It was to work jointly with others together, especially in an intellectual endeavor, and I think that's very true today. When we speak to companies, and we work with all type of companies in different sectors, collaboration sometimes means for them being able to collaborate on a project globally. Sometimes it could mean working on a major goal from inception to implementation. But sometimes what is deemed to be innovative and collaborative is actually tied to the tools that people have access to. And that causes a bit of a problem, which takes us on really to the first survey, the first trend. And this was a survey that was conducted by Deloitte, specifically in Europe, and it really reached out to 3,600 employees in some of the top organizations in Europe. And what they found was that workers are 20% more satisfied with the workplace culture when they have access to collaboration tools. And this indeed increases to 34% when they have these tools in an environment of innovation. That's a very interesting finding from Deloitte. I have two other slides with some stats from Deloitte. The second one is, according to Deloitte, employee engagement and happiness can be worth up to 19% of operating income to large enterprises. Now, this is backed by a study that was done by Tara Watson, and they include some quite large organizations in that research paper, including Aviva. And that's quite interesting stat, isn't it, really? Employees want to be engaged more. And employees privately use social networks. Up to 56% of employees use private networks, whilst 12% of employees only use social networks within the organization. So obviously, consumers who are end users are using social networks tremendously outside of work, but they're not able to within work. And only if we could give them access to these tools within work, they'd be a lot more satisfied with work, and this would work really well with organizations, especially with a dispersed workforce. The third and final stat I have is around 65% of workers that were interviewed in the EU, out of 3,600, thought that if they had better tools, their productivity will improve, better collaboration tools, that is. But only 5% of UK workers say they have access to this. Within the EU, I think the number was 10% of workers felt that they had access to these tools. Italy, I know, was at the very top end of that, and Germany was more in the middle, and the UK were amongst the middle top end. So it's quite clear from the Deloitte survey that it's very important to have collaborative tools in order to provide the employees with an opportunity to become more productive, be more creative, and which will lead to more innovation. So if there is such evidence, why is it that organizations are not delivering this today? Well, we work with, as I said, a number of organizations across multiple sectors, from retail to manufacturing to transport, and we do come across three key barriers to collaboration. First one is culture, second one technology, and the third geography. Now, with culture, that obviously is really dependent upon the organization's history, ways of working, the individuals involved, and also, and more importantly, around the trust given to its employees. The second one is technology, and technology can be a hindrance. There was a survey that was conducted recently looking at how many emails we receive on average per day. 114 was the number, which is a very high number. I'm sure there's some amongst you actually receive even more than that. And 10 to 20%, I think could be 20% the top end mark, of these emails actually have attachments. So people email every day, they receive emails. People do want to collaborate, they do want to work together, but email is not a collaborative tool. It's not the right technology to enable you to collaborate as you do using the social networks that are available in the consumer space. Not only is email not a collaborative tool, but from the survey that was done across the EU, a lot of the employees felt that the systems they have in place at home, technology they have at home, is far more up to date, 38%. So technology they have at home is far more better than work. Not only that, but actually it's a lot easier. So 46% felt that their technology at home is a lot easier to use than at work. So technology is a big barrier for delivering collaboration in large organizations. And with large organizations, they don't necessarily have to be large, medium-sized organizations. We're all spread across the country, across regions, across the globe. And it's very hard today to work together on a document, to easily converse and work productively when you are spread across the world. So geodiversity is also an issue for delivering collaboration. So there are three issues. Well, what is there today in technology world that can actually help us to address these issues? What we are seeing is mobility being the change agent to deliver collaboration through the cloud. So if we look at the trends around mobile, social, and cloud, we have seen a terrific take-up of use of smartphones. It's gone from 44% to 56% over the last year alone. So these stats are for 2013. 95% of employees use cloud services, mainly consumer-based. And then there's 230,000 years of data, social data, that's been used or uploaded every month. So you can see here that mobile, social, and cloud, it really is embedded in the way that consumers work today. The next slide just really shows smartphone penetration. As I mentioned, 56% today of people own a smartphone. It's 44% a year ago, and in 2011 it was 31%. So it's increasing by 50% nearly year by year. Not only smartphone penetration increasing, almost a year ago the use of mobile traffic was around about 15% of all traffic on the internet, and that's globally. There was a recent study that was done by Gartner, I think, which showed that the usage of mobile traffic on the internet was going to grow by 300%, so 15% will grow by 300% by 2017, so tremendous growth here. I was just looking at some stats for actually the UK and the use of mobile phones. In the UK alone, there are 76 million mobile phone connections when there's a population of 61 million. So you can see there's a lot of people with more than one phone. Not only do they have one phone, an average, a survey showed that workers use 3 different devices. And there's an 83% chance that they won't leave home without one. The final slide I have is around social media adoption. This slide really gives stats to 2012, but you can see the growth of usage on YouTube. That's loading content and viewing content. The growth in Twitter. There's quite a large expansion of growth for Google+. And then you have some of the newer technologies that have come through the last couple of years, Instagram and Tumblr. So there's no doubt these social media technologies are being widely adopted, but are being used on smart devices more and more. So how does Google fit into all of this? Well, Google are delivering some of these services. I mean, you saw some of the key areas of growth in the social media adoption. You saw Google Plus and YouTube. But not only that, but Google are actually connecting people with content on devices all around the world. They have a formidable infrastructure. It's spread across 16 data centers, providing a super fast highway, which is highly resilient and stable. And this infrastructure is used for all of their services. You're aware of probably some of these services already. There's obviously the Google search element. There are 425 million users of their Google Mail on the consumer side. There's Google Geo, 1 billion active users. Reference there to Gangnam on YouTube. Massive uploads of data every second, 70 minutes worth. On the mobile side, we just talked about how important mobile was. There's 900 million devices plus have been delivered on the Android device, and there are about 1.5 million activations per day. So you can see from this that the Google platform provides a considerable number of services to the consumer. And what we are seeing is the drive to use this consumer technology within the enterprise. So what has Google done? Well, Google has a division within the organization called Google Enterprise, and they have taken some of these consumer-based services, changed them so they fit for the enterprise, and they are now delivering them to large and medium-sized organizations. Now, as we talked about the Deloitte survey and the importance of collaboration, one of the things that came through from that survey around collaboration was that a collaborative environment was a mix of enterprise social, easy video conferencing, instant messaging, online file sharing, and shared documenting and creation. Because that is what consumers, our end users, do on their, in their private lives. And this is what Google provides. This is what Google provides on their system. I do apologize if some of these screens have slightly changed. That's not a problem. So the screen that I'm showing you here talks about some of the solutions that deliver those capabilities. So there you have Mail within. This is all the loveliest part of Google and Google Apps. So you have Mail, which provides a 25 gig inbox. You have your calendar. You have your Hangouts for chat and video conferencing. Then you have Drive for cloud storage, for online editing. And within there, you have spreadsheets and word processing. You have Google Plus as well for social within the enterprise. And finally, you have Sites, which provides you the ability to build internal and external websites. So Google have taken these consumerized technologies and delivered them to enterprise. And there are thousands of enterprises in the UK and EMEA using these solutions. So where do Cloud Sherpas fit into all of this? Well, Cloud Sherpas is a technology partner of Google, but we're also a cloud advisory partner. We work with a number of medium to large size organizations in EMEA, helping to understand their IT strategy and the best fit for moving some of these technologies and solutions to the cloud. We are a Google Partner of the Year for 2013, 2012, 2011, and we've helped over 5,000 companies go Google over the last several years. And we have some great names and case studies here in UK and in EMEA. Some of those on the slide are Waitrose, one of the largest Google Apps companies here that use Google Apps in Europe, and to some smaller organizations we have The Economist. I'm sure that most of you have heard of. So Cloud Sherpas help organizations go to the cloud, adopt Google technologies to implement collaboration. As I said, we work with some large organizations and also with small organizations. Sort of just want to make sure that we address that with some of the other companies on the call today. We've helped organizations from organizations that run cinemas, The Economist, to transporting and Go Ahead, to well-known companies like Telegraph and John Lewis Go Google. And one of the things that we've found is that these organizations, when we ask them the reason why they've chosen to go Google, collaboration seems to be the main reason. They wanted to go Google because they wanted to be able to put video conferencing, share and edit content, or simply build communities across their different geolocations. And the slide I have next here just gives you a number of, gives you a bit of an idea on some of the communities that we've built. So this one here is really a template of community that we've been building, a number of communities that we actually built in the retail sector, which gives the PR community for this company the ability to load digital assets and share that across their different locations across the UK and across the globe. We've also worked with organizations like the Telegraph, and their key thing is to enable journalists to be able to create documents and collaborate on those and edit those from remote places to the head office, and then quickly turn those into articles. So we've helped organizations move to the cloud in different sectors and in different perspectives. There is a great case study on YouTube right now for one of our customers that have gone cloud. They're called All Saints. So if you do have the opportunity, please go to YouTube and type in All Saints and Google. And there's I think a 3-minute video on why they went to Google. And what you'll find is that the reason they went to Google is around delivering on collaboration and delivering on innovation, because they see that as a key differentiator for their organization. I hope you found the webinar of some value today. I know I've gone through some stats quite quickly, but please do reach out to my colleague Henry Harbour at cloudsherpas.com if you have any questions, or if you'd like to have access to the Delight white paper. And please join us for the next webinar, which is around how enterprises go Google. I hope to see you on that webinar soon. Have a great day, and thank you very much. Bye.